Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, and if it's in the US, good morning. I'm not going to do all that again. Welcome to Ben's Camera Show. And we've got an interesting one tonight. We've got one that I've been planning for a while, but I didn't want to scare you all. So I thought, let's get like 44 episodes under the belt first, and then we can really get into the deep end. And it's a bit of a developing one tonight. We are not really going to talk about cameras so much, apart from incidentally. But there's some really cool stuff here tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in last week, and it was nice to see a lot of you at Mike's Filmboy24 stream last Sunday. I gotta say, if you're bored between my camera shows, and God help you if you are, I know I am, go and check out Mike. Go check out Filmboy24's little stream. His stream, actually, is getting bigger, his stream. He's got like 5,000 subscribers now. And good for him, because he takes care of his subscribers. He actually takes time out to read the chat and to reply to people, which I'm a bit lacking with sometimes. But I'm going to stop every so often and read the comments, because Mike has shown me the way. It's nice to keep a little interaction with the audience. And as a matter of fact, when I was watching his show, it was kind of weird for me to be watching it, a YouTube, and then just typing in a comment, and then the YouTube to start talking back to me. Yeah, I'm old enough that this two-way thing is still a novelty for me. So with that said, who's in town? Who's in town? Old Radios, Stas Vlad, Noptop. I don't know. Do I know you? What Noptop? I shouldn't know you. I shouldn't really know every single person who tunes in by name, because then I might as well just have you all over and we'll talk about it here in London. So what's going on? Old Radios, greetings, Ben, says Cecil here. Hi, Cecil Deville. Hello, Old Radios. Hello, Mike from North for reference. Different Mike. And Noptop and Staz, and of course all the rest of you who've tuned in tonight to see me blather on again. Well, I couldn't do my show yesterday. This is a very rare Friday show, because yesterday I was busy. I was working all day, and I only got off at about 8, and I only got home at about 10. No way was I in the mood to do a camera show, but here I am today, because, better late than never or something. Anyway, so what are we going to do tonight? Well, before we delve into the meat of the show, I'm going to do a little section here, which I might do as a recurring item on these camera shows, which is where I look at the work of someone who is coming out with some amazing stuff. I could have put that better. We're gonna do little showcases on filmmakers, and I'm going to show you some cool stuff that I've discovered. So without further ado, I met a lovely man called Dean Chalkley at a barbecue, and we got talking. It turns out we had some very similar antics in our past, and Dean sent me a link to a film he made on Super 8 called Surge. So while everyone just gets all settled and everything, let's see what Dean made. Let's go into the screening room. So here we go. Dean made this film called Surge. I believe he shot it on Ektachrome, and it was a while ago, but he said that he wasn't that sure which Ektachrome it was, but he's pretty sure it was a daylight balanced Ektachrome, and he shot it like good few years ago. I don't know, 20 years ago, and he said daylight balanced Ektachrome, so that narrows it down to possibly Ektachrome 160G. Not sure, but it's the most amazing looking film. I mean, I wish that I could get my my Super 8s look this good. I mean, I've been trying, and I've been doing for years. I've been trying to get the ultimate crispness and the ultimate focus, and pair it up with some nice stock and some really good lights. He used I think high intensity lights for this, and I think he shot it on he said it was on a what is it, a Niso 500 or something. And oh my god, look how good it is. I mean, look at the grain, look at the colors, the exposure, everything just perfect. I mean, this is what Super 8 can look like if you really train for years. And oh, where am I? I've gone in the there we go. Yeah, if you really have a proper photo studio and basically be a hell of a lot more professional about it than I am, you can do this kind of unbelievable pictures here. I mean, it's got grain, but really it's so sharp that and such a good lens, you can tell that the grain really doesn't matter. And yes, Old Ray says, like a young Arnold. Yeah, you know what? I've been so kind of like turned on by the lens, the lighting, and the grain, and anything else that's all I can really comment on. I mean, the subject matter, good lord. I mean, he's probably been at the weights longer than I've been at the cameras. So anyway, that's a little taster to begin with. That's Surge by Dean Chalkley. Thank you, Dean, for letting me show that. Amazing stuff. Whoa, pardon me. Yes. So yeah. So maybe next time I'll highlight the work of another talented filmmaker, and we'll see what's out there. See, it's not just me and a bunch of my amateurish efforts. Right. Let's talk about Bleach. I'm going to say this once, but whenever I mention Bleach in this episode, don't take a shot because you'll be pissed off your head. I mean photographic bleach and not Domestos or Harpic or one of those kind of bleaches. So firstly, get that out of your mind straight away. When I say bleach, I'm not talking about toilet bleach, I'm talking about camera bleach. And when do you use bleach? You use bleach when you are developing reversal film. Now, I know that a lot of people in this watch this show, seasoned filmmakers, professionals, whatever, but I'm going to just talk to the lowest common denominator here. And forgive me if I go over some stuff which you've heard about already or you know already, because hang on, there might be something that I say that you haven't heard about. So reversal film. Reversal film is basically a positive. It's the opposite of negative. You've seen negative film. Okay, reversal film is where the film itself can be projected in a projector and watched on the wall, and without everyone watching it saying, hang on, why is it color? Why does it all look funny? Okay, so reversal film can be black and white, can be color. We're going to be looking at both. And we're going to be looking at what the bleach stage of reversal developing does, and what happens when the bleach stage goes a bit wrong, and what happens when the bleach stage goes right, and what exactly bleach does in the first place. Well, at a risk of repeating myself, because I have gone on about this in a previous show, I will actually I cut down a little segment of a previous show where I talked about reversal developing. So we're going to have a little refresher first. I'm going to show you, I'm going to go into my screening room here, and I'm going to show you something I recorded earlier, just going into the basic principles of reversal and bleach. And everything I say afterwards is going to make a bit more sense. So take it away, Ben from the past. I've made some teaching aids here, so everyone sit down and calm down. So we're gonna actually learn something right now. Okay, so imagine this picture. This is a picture from Regent's Park in London. Very nice park. This is about halfway up this very wide road here. There's a drinking fountain there which is switched off because of COVID. So here's your original picture. Here's your original scene that you are filming. Now, once you have filmed that on your film, you have what's called a latent image. Now, you see, I've actually darkened it slightly because it's invisible to the human eye. So imagine that's what you just expose. There's your latent image. Now, as you notice, up here, the sky is white, but your latent image, it's black. That's because the more light hits your film, the more dark it's going to end up. Okay, it's the basics of negatives. That's why there's this whole negative thing in the first place. So when you develop that, these dark areas, the developer hits these latently exposed areas and it makes them dark, even darker. And that creates this, which is your negative picture. Okay, so let's do that again. That's what your camera sees. That's what's the latent picture that's on your film. And that's your negative after it comes out of the developer and has been fixed. Brilliant. That's negative developing. Couldn't put it any easier. Now, here's the thing. If you've put your negative in the developer for too long, been in the developer too long, it gets darker. The longer it's in the developer, the darker it gets. So a very, very dark image will result like that. And when you reverse that on your computer, you're just going to get this washed out sort of light image. Right? That's what happens if you overdevelop. That's overdeveloping. What about if you underdevelop? Well, that you get this, which is not quite light enough. It's not quite, there's no contrast to it. And your final print will look like this. It'll be too dark, right? That's underdeveloped film right there. Bear that in mind, okay? Now, reversal developing. Now listen carefully. This took me a long time to understand, and these teaching aids are going to make it a lot easier for you lot to understand as well. Okay, so there's your negative after you've gone through the first developing and the stop bath and everything. There's your negative. You don't fix it yet. What you do is you bleach it. It's a photo bleach. We call it bleach because it takes away everything you've developed. Okay, all this dark stuff, the dark sky, the darkness, everything in different levels, it gets stripped off by the bleach and leaves you with something looking like this. Now I have colored some of it just an off-white, a kind of a yellowish, okay? This yellow is unexposed film. This is what's left after you bleach, okay? Unexposed film, and well, that's been taken away by the bleach, and various parts of the picture have been taken away by the bleach, okay? What happens then? You take the film out of the bleach, you rinse it really well, or you can use a clearing bath, which is a bit like stop bath for bleach. Then you take this unexposed film that's in a certain sort of pattern that's been left over from the bleach. You expose that to light. Now you don't have to put it back in the camera. You just have to put it into just hold it up against a bright light. And the bleach becomes a big latent image. Okay, so that's the unexposed film. It all gets exposed. Doesn't matter how much light you expose it to. Doesn't matter how long you expose it for. Just get all that leftover unexposed film exposed to light. So that's called a re-exposure. Finally, you develop the film you just exposed, and hey presto, it becomes a positive. Right? Now, I'm not going to explain that again. Rewind the show and watch it again, because that's how you make a positive image. This is your final result after you fixed it. All right. Now, supposing your first developer, you left it in too long. It's gone too dark. That means that all this darkness is going to be taken away by the bleach, and your result is going to be too light of an image, because that's all that's left is a little bit of unexposed film, and all that's left is this light. Conversely, if you have taken your film out of the first developer too soon, then it won't remove much of the silver, and you'll get this. No, you won't get that. You'll get this as a result, which is too dark an image. Okay, so if you're reversal developing and your image is too dark, it means that you haven't left it in long enough. If you're negative developing and the picture is too dark, it means you've left it in for too long. Just remember that when you reversal, everything is reversed. Everything is you're through the looking glass. All right. Right, that's enough of that. Well, that was quick. All right, that is enough of that. Right, so I hope that's clear to everyone. I mean, it's all you have to really remember is that bleach stage, the stage where we strip where we bleach, and then strip the developed negative, and then bleach using the bleach, and then develop the what's left over. That's the principle of reversal developing. So what kind of what kind of reversal stocks are there, and what kinds of bleaches are there? Let's go into a few examples of such. I've made some teaching aids here. I keep forgetting to switch off the previous video. Right, so what have we got here? Okay, firstly, since people asked last time about this is where I get my fomapan on Super 8 from a website called I've cropped the top of the website. It's small8-16.ru, but just look up Cinemech. It says it's all in Russian here, but this is where I get it. A guy called Pavel, also known as Sidor Matrasov. He basically gets double Super 8. He slits it, and then he recans it into, either he sells it in rolls that you can put into a reloadable cartridge, or you can buy it straight off on cartridges from him. I'll get the guy's website. Oh, there it is. I've put it up there. Small8-16frame.ru, and you have to run it through Google Translate because otherwise, unless you can read Russian. And he sells them, and it actually comes out kind of cheaper than Tri-X, which is nice. And fomapan's a lovely stock as well. Let's carry on. So, yeah, here's my fomapan process here. I do it in Ilfotec LC29. You can also do it in Rodinol, but Ilfotec I find's got a nicer contrast. I put 7.5 minutes at that at 21 degrees Celsius. Tri-X takes 12 minutes. Then the bleach. Well, you have to make this is using a bleach called potassium permanganate bleach, which you have to make in 2 parts and then mix before use, and it comes out like this, which is absolutely lovely. This is one of my previous workshops. Now you can see this kind of dark band coming on the left side. Yeah, there'll be more of that. That's what happens when the bleach doesn't reach all of the picture. See some of it, and here's this is lovely. This is a really nice. What is that blob on this? Hang on, I'm going to fix that. Whatever the hell that is. Oh, I know what it is. That's this. Okay. Yeah, this is a time lapse done on a Canon 814 XLS. Fomapan again, reversal developed using the permanganate bleach. Comes out lovely. What else have we got? Some more fomapan. Now here's some Plus X. They don't make this anymore, but it came out really nice. Very much finer grain than Tri-X or even fomapan. This was again reversal developed using the same process. I cannot remember how many minutes that Plus X was in the first developer. I think it might have been longer than 7.5 minutes. I think it was more like 10 minutes. I ought to find that out. But this is reversal at its finest, really. I've shown this on the show before. Some scenes from Italy a couple of years ago. Plus X, yeah. I think it was 100 ASA. Maybe it's less. Plus X. Oh gosh, I should have looked that up. Nice. Oh, I ought to be putting some music on this, really. Some tinkly Italian music. Well, what else have we got? Just going to have to listen to me. Okay, here's another type of bleach. Peracetic bleach. You can make bleach from peroxide and acetic acid, which is, of course, vinegar. But this is using a very, very concentrated acetic acid, 99%. By contrast, normal kitchen vinegar is about 9%. So you buy this from eBay. It stinks like anything, but it seems to do the job. If you don't want to use this, I've heard people use peroxide and lime juice, of all things. So that's one to consider. Some people say, well, I don't like using all these toxic chemicals. I'd rather use something a bit more eco-friendly. It's possible that peroxide and lime juice is a bit better. But remember, you are dissolving silver in this stuff. So whatever you do with it, it might be an environmental hazard. So dispose of it carefully. Old Radio says the good stuff. Well, the really good stuff is in fact something called potassium dichromate, which does a lovely job bleaching. It also gives you cancer and probably an SDD as well. It's nasty stuff, dichromate. I don't like to mess with it. In fact, it's very hard to get hold of it these days. There's one or two places, but I don't even know if they ship to the UK or I think you can get it in the US. Anyway, don't mess with dichromate. Potassium permanganate will do the job fine. Let's see some Kodachrome 40. Oh yeah, Adrian Cousins. I have to thank Adrian for giving me this. This is Reversal developed old expired Kodachrome 40. And it looks a little bit more janky than negative developed Kodachrome because you've gone through a couple more stages. You've got some little spots and stuff here. But I got to say, it's a lovely fine grain if you do it reversal. And, you know, for Kodachrome, old Kodachrome 40, it calms down a little bit after these blobs. I don't know why it's more blobby on one part of the film than another. But for old Kodachrome, this is not a bad result really at all, considering. And this is reversal as well, so you can, you know, obviously you can project this. Ah, that's my son Sam. Hello, Sam. Suitably embarrassed at me playing a little frisbee there. That's my mate Tom. And I ought to clean that gate really. I should. Oh yeah, and okay. So here's some more Kodachrome. Also bleached, and this is also something I've done on the show before, but I mixed. If you use your the same developer for your first developer and your second developer, it goes this bright orange yellow color, which is nice in a way, if you like that kind of thing. There's another type. Oh, I could go into the chemistry of it, but I really can't remember it right now. But yeah, so that's Kodachrome 40, also reversal developed and also done in the paracetic bleach. What else have we got here? Oh, I think some sound Kodachrome coming up. Yay!
Canon 514 XOS. Now, what are you going to do today?
I'm going to watch a movie. Okay. I'm going to watch The Meg, which is about a massive shark.
Old radios, I can't remember if it was 2000s. I think it was older than that. I think it was more like 80s Kodachrome.
Good. We'll see what you say after.
And, yeah, but I don't like jump scares.
No, they're crap.
Yeah, and I just get way too scared. Kind of dramatic. But
okay. Nice. That's it. Everything's fine. Yes, everything's fine.
All right, so there's some examples of bleach when it goes fairly right, as well as you can expect. So yeah, like I said, that was old. That's some old Kodachrome sound film. I forgot to look at the date on the box, but it was well expired. Right, so let's have it. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Curb Music. And in fact, the name they give that in Curb Your Enthusiasm is Everything's Fine. Basically, that's why they play it when things are sort of going well. Remjet says, I wonder if reversal development helps to reduce the general fogginess of Kodachrome. Yeah, I really haven't had a problem with Kodachrome being foggy recently. Not since I started developing with Caffeinol CM, which has a gram of potassium bromide in it. It really doesn't have the problem really is underexposing it. You got to expose the hell out of it and then take it out of the developer before the fog comes. So as Adrian told me, overexpose, underdevelop is the way to go with old Kodachrome. Yeah, so yes, I know, Larry David, yes. Right, well, let's have a look at some things that can go wrong with bleach, because that's where things are getting interesting tonight. Is we're going to talk about when things either go wrong by accident or wrong on design. Let's see. So I'm going to sort of point out various things. Firstly, what have we got? Well, that looks like, oh yeah, okay. On the side here, see these corners here? The bleach did not reach all of the film. Remember that in a Lomo tank, I'm just going to pause it for a second here. Let's pause it on a good one. On a Lomo tank, of course, this film is sitting on its end. So this is the bottom of the film in the spiral. And when all this gets covered in the bleach, Sometimes the bottom, which is of course in a little plastic groove to hold it in place, the bleach doesn't quite fit, doesn't quite get into the corners. That's also why you can get these black kind of lines here when the developer hasn't reached in there as well. It's a bit of a problem. Anyway, snow. Here's another thing that can go wrong. Oh God, a lot went wrong with this one. Oh my God. Right, so snow. See all those white speckles there? Yeah, and even black speckles. So what we've got here, problem we have right here is, I believe, is that the silver that came off the film, let's pause it on a nice speckly bit. Ah, that's my lovely sissy there. Okay, so yeah, so I think the silver that came off the film, when I agitated it, I think it got all stirred up, and some of the silver then reattached itself to bits of the film. I think the film did not come out of the bleach particularly cleanly, and this is especially a problem if you reuse bleach. It really shouldn't be reused, because the first time you've used the bleach, it will have lots and lots of silver particles in it. And if you use it again, the silver particles from the previous bleach can go onto your next film. It took me a long time to work this out. I thought I was saving money by reusing the bleach, and instead I got this. I got this. Looks like, I don't know. Looks like a million beetles flies are in the sky, or mosquitoes or something. And those blobs there, well, we'll be going into that later. That's something special. More blobs. Look at this. This is terrible. I mean, it's fine if you're doing a sort of a Christmas film, some nice, snow and stuff. But really, yeah. But here, some nice bits here. You can see where the bleach hasn't actually reached the film at all. See where there's negative. Bleach didn't get there because the film was touching itself, and now there's positive where the bleach got in. So the bleach kind of leaves a footprint on the film. That actually looks very nice with the snowy bits. Oh God, this one really went to hell. Look at this. This is bleach problems and development problems. I have no idea why, but the developer didn't even evenly hit the film. I mean, there's a lot going on here. There's bleach blobs, there's reversal errors, there's scratches, there's hairs, there's patchy development. The shame is that this would otherwise be a really nice shot. It was on a Bollier 4008 ZM2 done at 70 frames a second, which is absolutely the best camera to use if you're filming trampolines. Yeah, so big problems here. I think down to reusing the bleach or using old bleach. Oh dear. It hasn't happened to me for a while. This is quite old footage here. So yes, that's all I can say about that. Right, the next problem that you might have with bleach, let's just get past this bit. What is the next problem? I know what it is. It's not leaving the bleach in for long enough. I think that's the next problem. Let's go forward a bit here. Oh, it's more snow. Yeah, more snow and more flecks of silver. Dear oh dear. Either not rinsing properly or reusing the bit. Shut up! Sorry, Alexa started up. When I said flecks of silver, I thought I said Alexa. Now this one, I think I overexposed the Fomapan, and I reused really filthy old bleach, and I got this like awful footage of my my street party a few years ago. Yeah, I think I may have overexposed, probably overdeveloped as well, and then used dirty bleach. There's a nice bit coming up here, which I've slowed down here, where it's gone sort of like, it's gone some patches there where you can see where the bleach, it's where the film contact itself, bleach didn't get in. Look, bit of bleach went through there, or maybe it's developing. Maybe it didn't develop it because the film was stuck together. But these are things that happen. Old Razor, it looks like a film from 1898. I would say more 1878, to be honest. Yeah, so I'm really fixed. If I ever want to... no, here's an interesting one. Nothing wrong here. Oh, yes, there's problems. Okay, over-bleaching, I think. What's going on here? The bleach, I think, see this kind of reticulation here? I think the bleach has been in... The film has been in the bleach for too long. And I think the actual emulsion has started to break down here. I think that's what's going on here. And that's a problem with potassium permanganate bleach, which is if you leave the film in the bleach for too long, it'll finish on getting rid of the silver, and it'll start attacking the emulsion itself. So that's why I think some people are a bit intimidated by the whole reversal and the bleaching step and everything. They're worried that the bleach, they'll screw it up somehow, look like that, what I just showed you. And if they leave it, if they don't get the timing wrong, then it'll take the emulsion right off. And that has happened to me. Happened to me once, and then I've never left it in for too long since then, to a fault actually, because as we'll see in a minute, well, I'll show you right now. Let's see what happens when you don't leave it in the bleach for long enough. This is what you get, and it's amazing. It's solarization. It is solarization because the lightest parts of the image here, which have the most silver on them, have not had a chance to completely let the silver dissolve. So the film came out of the bleach too quickly. And that is an amazing effect. It looks great. This was my mate David, who was making a cake. Mike Rourke says, "Yay, big fan of this look." Yeah, it's something else, isn't it? In fact, we're going to see. Stay tuned, Mike. You're going to see a lot of this, because the thing is I thought that solarization looked so good. Well, let's watch it again. It looked so good that I wanted to find a way to manufacture that look. In fact, what I wanted to do, I wondered if this was possible, and that is to go half and half. Okay, that's the Ektachrome G. That's the Plus X I used for the footage in Italy. That's the solarized. No, that's the peracetic bleach ingredients. I should have shown you this before, but I got carried away. Okay, so here we go. Here's an example of 4 different frames of a shot, and some of them are obviously more bleached than others. And as I said before, the lightest part of the picture is the last bit to have its silver removed. So I thought, well, what about, can we get half and half? Can we get a picture that is, in fact, I think here's one that happened by accident. It's half positive and half negative, with a nice sharp dividing line down the middle. I thought, now that's an interesting artistic tool there. You could make a film with 2 people side by side. One of them's positive, one of them's negative. Maybe even you could have them saying things like, the positive person can be all like, well, it's just too obvious to say, they can be all positive about stuff, and the negative person be all negative about stuff. But that's just off the top of my head. That's the kind of crap you have to get out of your system. But chemically, is it possible to do that? And I thought, how do you do that? Well, the way to do it, if this is the bottom of the picture, that's the bottom of the film as it sits in the Lomo tank. Don't ask me about Morse tanks. I don't know about them. But if that's the bottom, then if you were to fill your tank up with bleach just to about there, then this part will be negative and this part will be positive. So I thought, let's try that. Let's give that a shot. So here we go. I'm going to show you how I did that. Firstly, the very difficult part is to know exactly when to stop pouring the bleach in, because you can't do this. You can't eyeball this. You have to know exactly how much to pour in before when it's, and it's a matter of millimeters, of course. It's only like you've got to get the bleach to go 4 millimeters up into the center of the film and no further, and no agitation either. And you've got to do it all blind. So how do you do that? Well, you have to do a dummy one first. So here's what I'm doing. This is basically, we're getting a free lesson here as well on how to load a Lomo spiral. I did make a film. It's actually one of my most watched films on YouTube, is how to load a Lomo spiral. And I made a huge error in that film, and it's very embarrassing. But I don't want to take it down because it's got 13,000 hits. Anyway, I told people to do it with the sprocket holes facing up. And you should always have them facing downwards so they go into the groove. So here's me loading up. I don't have to load it all the way. I just need to get some film in there, so I can measure how much bleach to put in there. So that's probably about enough. Remjet says, I like the way you think, Ben. Oh, Remjet, if you only knew the half of it. Right. So I got exactly 1,000 milliliters, that's 1 liter for Americans, of water. And I poured it in very slowly until the water reached the 4 millimeter up the film mark, or just enough up the film. And there you can see it there. The meniscus of the water is just halfway up the film. Okay. Then I looked at the jug that I poured the water out of, and look at this. It's 700, almost on the button, 700 mils left, which means, if I work this out in my brain, that means, let's set everything up first, little things. That means that we need 300 milliliters of bleach, exactly, poured in there with as little agitation as possible. So here's me mixing up the bleach. There's the acidic part of the bleach, and there's the permanganate part of the bleach. Oh, look how helpful I am. I put the recipe up there again. There we go. So I made a liter of bleach. I could have just made 300 mils, but I wanted to use it later. Now, this is a problem. Permanganate doesn't always dissolve all the way, so it's good to pour it back and forth a little bit just to make sure it's all properly dissolved and everything. So then, measure out exactly 300 mils of bleach and pour it in there. This is with the...
Alexa, set timer for 3 minutes.
I know it's listening in on me. I know. It's just very useful. So there's some film in there that's gone through the developing already. It's been developed and stopped. Hey, Manny's in the house. Hey, Manny. 4 minutes later.
Alexa, stop.
4 minutes later. And then I pour it out. And I tried not to agitate it, do anything. It just 300 mils went in, 300 mils came out. And what's that I'm pouring in there? Oh, I think that's the clearing bath. I didn't talk about clearing bath. Clearing bath, you don't have to do it. You can just rinse. But clearing bath is a bit like a stop bath for bleach. I just said that before, I think, on the other film. Anyway, it gets rid of all the purple permanganate, and it makes your film actually look kind of all a bit brighter and cleaner after the fact. The clearing bath was sodium metabi... Hang on, just pause this while I remember this. It was 30 grams of sodium metabisulfite in 1 liter of water. And don't mix... Just use it to rinse out your thing. Don't actually add it to the bleach or you'll make mustard gas. Anyway, let's carry on. So after fixing and after everything, this is after the final rinse. I've skipped forward a little bit. So I've done the bleach and I've done the second development. And let's see whether I managed to make my split screen bleach. Well, get it out and show us, for God's sake. Yeah, you can see it's worked. You can see the bleach. Unfortunately, it looks a bit like I didn't put quite enough bleach in. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm putting it in the fixer. Of course, I'm fixing it now. So, yeah, that's the final fix. We don't have to watch it fix. Fix is boring. Fix is the ignored cousin of the developing world, really. I did do a whole show on fixer. So here's the result. So that's completely bleached over there. Now, here we go. Yeah, it did work, but it didn't quite reach the halfway mark. And there's some interesting bubbles and stuff here. Some interesting things. I think what happened, it might have splashed a little bit, and those are the marks of the bleach as it drained off the film. I think it goes down to that little point. I think I've got some screen grabs of those. So that was the result there. And you know what? It's been a while since I did that, and I can't actually find that piece of film. So I can't scan it and show you. Never mind about that. Let's look at those results again quickly. Oh, everyone's saying hi to Manny. Good to have you on board, Manny. So yeah, so that was the most successful part there. There's the half bleach, half negative. Now these are interesting. They almost look like some kind of Mandelbrot. In fact, this one looks like one of those fractal Mandelbrots, doesn't it? Same rules of nature in play, I reckon. So yeah, I think it got splashed by some bleach, and as it kind of drained off, it made these little sort of channels which got a bit more bleached than other parts. So yeah, interesting experiment that. But let's move on. Let's do something else. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to take... Oh, I know. Wait a minute. Where is it? Okay, partially. We're going to take it out the bleach too soon. Yes, you heard me. And this is what happens when you take it out of the bleach. You saw before when I was shining the torch on it, what properly bleached film's supposed to look like. It all goes this amazing kind of bright, creamy pink kind of color. Now, if you took the film out halfway, you got all this black stuff on it. And this is the remaining silver. And you can see there's a pattern. There's a pattern to what got bleached. Let's have a look. It's yeah, it's in fact, I think have I got a close up? No, I don't. Okay. Right, let's look at the partial bleach now. So, yeah, it looks amazing. And the reason I didn't put it back in the bleach was because I thought, look, there's pictures there. I can see pictures. What you're looking at is the brightest part of the picture with the silver still stuck to it. Amazing to see this halfway through. So I thought, let's just develop that and see what we got. And I should have really done it just to a strip, just to see what we got, because this is a whole 50 feet of treasured memories that I committed to this experimental process. Old Radio says, dang it, I found out how to install Stable Diffusion locally on my Mac. Can't figure out how to home develop. Well, that's 1-1 then, because I don't know how to install Stable Diffusion. Right. And I use PCs anyway, so don't hold it against me. So it looks very interesting. And here's some close-ups. So you can see there are images there and consistent images. Yeah. So once that went back in the developer and then got fixed, it came out like this. Oh, I just have some music there. Why not? Yeah. So what you're looking at here is a mixture of the positive, and then I inverted it as a negative as well on Premiere. So that's a negative, it's a fake negative from a positive, which is half negative already. So we're switching between half positive with negative highlights to half negative with positive highlights. And yeah, whoa is exactly my reaction to that. Of course, I had to take a picture of this. That's a waffle queue in Belgium. This is all in Antwerp, and it really looks amazing. The problem is it's not a stable effect, as you can see. It's bumpy and it's random and it flickers and it flashes. But it would be nice if there was something quite consistent about it. I had to take a picture of that, didn't I? It's very organic, absolutely. I mean, you can't get more analog than this, really. This is blobs of silver and light and. Wait a minute, Old Radio. Just hang on. We're going to color in a minute. Manny says, looks neat. Yes, it damn well does. And sometimes the negative, the fake negative can look very different, but kind of better as well. That's nice, the marathon runners. I like how the squares, the white squares on it. This is a lovely picture. The white squares they're wearing, they go all negative. So I mean, it's not like it's just covered in muck. There is a kind of a pattern to which bits are getting occluded and which aren't. So that's the positive. That's a nice one. I like that. That's amazing. Look like space out there. No, Manny, I haven't tried ferric chloride yet. I love this. Is in Wales now. Stained glass windows. Yes, look at that. And look at that guy's hair in the middle. You'll see it again. Nice. I'm playing all these all the time. That was at a big dam near Rhaeadr in Wales. That's such great. It's like at the end of 2001. Right. Well, there we go. That is that's what happens when you take it out the bleach too quickly. You get that. The funny thing is, like I said, when you play it, it's very flickery and blotchy and inconsistent. It would be nice if it was the same. How can I put this? If it was all negative and then like there'd be more of a consistent line between the negative and the positive instead of being so blah, 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 all the way. But the thing is, that leads me to the conclusion that actually this effect might work better for still photography. So I'm going to just go through a couple of freeze frames of what we just saw. And when it's not actually moving, you can concentrate on the composition and how the effect looks and how great it looks. I love that. That's outside and it's all blurry and positive, and inside is... So if you can... So yeah, so what else? We've got... that was a thing outside the Stasi Museum in Berlin, like a wall decoration. This is inside the Stasi Museum in Berlin. This is the secretary of the head of the Stasi. And that's like the waiting room to go in to see the head of the Stasi. It's very grim. I think for still photos, it kind of works better. You can take it in a bit better. That was a shop dummy. That was a dummy in a tailor's shop window. He's positive. The reflection, he's positive and out of focus. The reflection of the street across the road is negative and in focus. Nice effect. Yeah, and there's the like I said, the marathon runners. All their white things became occluded there. Very nice. And this police lady police officer in Antwerp. Look at her. There's her face and her hat and her neck thing. And here, because this is darker, the silver's come off it. But in the middle there, it's lighter, and her face has become a bloody negative. Freaky. Yeah, and her eye, her face negative. The white of her eye got bleached out, but the rest of her face didn't. I mean, bloody hell! I should get that one properly scanned and made a print of. Very nice. Mike Rourke says, "Listen, Fran Dam. It's the dam near Rhaeadr. It's I can't remember its name. But yeah, you can't miss it. There's like 5 dams and there are these huge lakes. It's very nice. Right, so color. Shall we go on to color? I don't have a lot to show you for color, I'm afraid, because I didn't have many bleaching accidents in color. For color, I use potassium ferrocyanide, which is this orange-looking stuff, and it's done the job pretty well, and it's a lot more reusable as well than the potassium permanganate bleach. But here's a nice picture. I think I might have shown this on a previous one. This is the leader before a film, I think some 500T or some 200T started, and it's like, I think the brown blob is where there was a bubble or something, and maybe it's an air bubble, and no developer hit the film. And then when it went into the bleach, I think another bubble came here, and the rest of it got bleached. And it just made this very nice picture. I got that printed up and put it on my wall. Looks like abstract art. Here's this is the full strip. Basically, this is the part that was tucked into the center of the Lomos spiral. And where the film goes into the center of the Lomos spiral, it gets all twisted and sort of bunched up and presses against itself, presses against the spiral. The fluids can't reach all those places. Some of them reach part of the way. Anyway, when you unwrap it all, it makes for a lovely pattern like that. Here's something else. This was on a test strip that went through some bleach. and it was being there was a zinc bolt attached to it as a weight, and the zinc bolt came up all corroded out of the bleach, and this is what this is where the bolt was, and this is, I don't know, I think some kind of reaction happened with the zinc and the bleach, and like dribbled down the film or something and created this. Tried it in different, this also, that was reversed. Just these mad abstract patterns you can do. And these are, remember, this is an 8mm wide piece of film. So it's going to be very difficult to really get a good scan and print that. But yeah, some of them would really look good on your wall. This again there, that's the same one reversed, the first one. So, oh, and this is my favorite one here. This is some 500T. I don't know what happened, bubbles, whatever. But look at that. Completely amazing. That was, I don't know, I think maybe it was attacked by Bleach from two sides and by Developer from two sides and some bubbles and everything. I mean, you know. Is Pink Floyd still together? No, they're not, are they? Damn it. Okay, right. So color. I'm going to show you all I've got. I've only got one piece of footage, but it's a doozy. to quote our American friends. Let's just see what's going on here in the comments. Old Radio says color negative effects in old movies when there is a trippy scene. Yeah, I actually looked up that scene in 2001 where you just see his eye. I didn't know whether that might have been a Bleach effect. Turns out it wasn't. It was like they filmed those bits in like 3-strip Technicolor, and they developed the 3 strips, like they shot them through different lenses, like, and one was like made red and one was green, blue, but then they put purple lenses. Anyway, the whole thing with the eye at the end of 2001 going on those different colors, that's apparently that's not a Bleach effect. Otherwise I would be I'd show you it now and get sued probably by the Kubrick estate. So this is so now we're into the color. So all I've got really is one tiny fragment of color film that underwent incomplete bleaching, or not so much incomplete bleaching, but the end of it was probably sticking out of the bleach, because for a few frames, well, I'll just show you, shall I? This was some Ektachrome that I developed for a client, and I cannot remember who I developed it for. So whoever you are, if you see this, please forgive my use of the last 10 frames of your film. So partial Blix, of course, the bleach was with the fixer. So look at this. I've slowed it all the way down. And then becomes negative. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to play it again, but I'm going to pause it. So here's complete development. They've gone through the Blix. And then a bit later on, whoa, look, his shirt's still positive. That's mostly positive. His hair's gone negative. Where the darkest parts have gone negative. And look, these are all like, I don't know what they are, bubbles or bits of dirt. That's a scratch. That's probably when I was hanging up the film, because like I said, it was at the very end of the roll. So it was probably a mark from a clip from hanging it up. Old Radio says, whoa, I know. My reaction completely. Look at that. I mean, if that isn't a bloody album cover, I don't know what is. I mean, I need to find these people and ask if they need this for their... Well, I already gave them this footage, but they're missing a trick. So yeah, going from, developed. I'm just swiping on developed all the way to negative all the way. And here's the, so that's pretty much, that's pretty much negative. Amazing. Just great. And I think I'm going to start saving my old Bleach, because if it can only partially do the job, I have an old E6 kit which I've kept. I might start doing like really shabby developments and just see what comes out. Hey, Mike's in the town. Mike's in town. In Bentown. In the house. Hi, Mike. I might do the whole thing again just for you, Mike. Anyway, so here we go. So I mean, I'm just in awe of this. This is talk about happy accidents. I need to manufacture more happy accidents. You just can't conjure it up at will. That's the thing with analog. It might work, it might not. You can just create the conditions for it to work. Lovely stuff. Everyone's saying hi to Mike. I gave you a shout out at the beginning, Mike. You've taught me to be a little more observant of the people commenting. Anyway, you're just in time for tonight's end treat. We're going to have our little film show now. Oh yeah, so that's Bleach, everyone. If you've got any more questions, just put them in the comments, and probably someone else in the comments will answer with more authority than I will. All I know is what I've done, and this is what I've done. But it's nice. Got anything else? Nope. Okay. All right. Yes, it is time for the show. Let's cut this. And we'll switch on the DSLR. So what we've got tonight, I threatened to show it last time. I didn't. I told you I didn't show it last time because it's so bloody boring. But I changed my mind. It's actually not boring. It's Norway, 1967. Someone's home movie. I don't know how I came to. I think my daughter might have bought it at a street market or something. So it's on standard. Oh dear! No, wait a minute. I haven't switched off my. There we go. It's on standard 8, probably shot on some sort of Kodachrome. So I guess 1967. I don't know. I imagine it looks kind of similar now. Aldrea says Norge. Super Cine 100s in the house as well. I'm late too, just in from work. We'll get started on the replay. By the way, next... why don't we have some music during this? Oh, I think I've shown this. I remember that van. This is probably more appropriate music. Dear, oh dear, my standard 8 projector's making a hell of a racket. Oh my God, listen to that. That doesn't sound healthy at all. It's going to turn into like projector rescue. Oh, then it got quiet again. Oh no, it's gone loud again. Dear. Well, if the... Maybe if I hit it. Usually solves everything. Anyway, I'll be back next week. Oh, this is so lovely. Look at that. I'll be back next week on the usual Thursday, and I'm going to be showing you one of these. Here's a little sneak preview. I'm not even going to put it full screen, but this is what will be on next Thursday. There we go. As it says on the screen, the Minolta D12. And following on from the quality camera last time, the Nikon, we're going to be following it up with this absolute beast of a camera, the D12. So do tune in for that. At the normal Super Cine says, oh, to have Kodachrome again. Oh. Somebody get Bonnie from Sweden over here. I'm not sure Ben can handle the Rick rolling. I'm really nervous about the noise this thing's making. This just doesn't sound good at all. So we were saying, oh, to have Kodachrome, lol, Rimja. Oh, my Minolta D10 works, says Aldred. Good for you. TMA. Thanks, Ben. Cool show. I was able to catch what I was able to catch. You can always rewind it. Just put the thing back and watch me on the replay. I'm sure I didn't say anything inflammatory that I have to scrub. Aldria says, finally found that out. Oh, the Minolta D10. Oh, you got footage back from it. Ah. Well, my D12, that's like 2 more, isn't it? Like, it goes up to 12, my one. Well, it's not even mine. I had to borrow it. The one thing it doesn't work on it. Oh, I'll talk about it next week. Anyway, Stasblad says, that'll be interesting. Looking forward to it. Thanks very much, friend. Well, I'm going to cut this before my projector explodes. That's a really bad... Listen to that. I mean, I know they're supposed to make a noise, but that's really not healthy. If that thing pegs out, that's my last standard 8 projector. And it's got the Spaceman bulb in it as well, which is really difficult to replace. Right, Filmboys24 says, I can't even hear myself. All right, going to watch from the beginning. Go back to the beginning, and yes. I'll see you all next week, next Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. And yes, thanks for all the fun comments. It's been a good one. And next week, as I said, the Minolta. And I will catch you all back then. Staslad, beautiful, juicy shots. Hope you haven't stolen the Minolta as well. Please stop putting around the rumor that I'm stealing all the cameras that I'm featuring on this show. Quite the opposite. I've had them stolen from me. Anyway, good night, everyone. See you later.